Making notes?
I'm making notes.
Staying organized?
Sorry, I had an idea. So when I have an idea,
there's like a lot of people watching you make notes right now.
Pardon me, excuse me, everyone. I'll just put that aside. You can't say that I'm not organized. Timing isn't great, but my organization skills are wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a live stream lunch hour. It's Tuesday, January 26th. It's about noon Eastern. And welcome, everybody. We're glad you could pop in and join us today. We are going to be discussing budgets. I know this can make some people's hair go curly, but it's not as big a hill to climb as you think it might be. In fact, this is something that I actually find kind of fun. I know I'm a nerd and I know I'm a math nerd, but budgeting can be a lot of fun. It can also really help, once again, with feelings of anxiety or loss of control. So something that I used to work for a bank. I worked for a bank for quite a long time, actually. And one of the things I got to do was sort of try to help people find money, save money, all that kind of good stuff. And it's near and dear to my heart. So I actually had a lot of fun talking about this kind of thing with people. And one of the things we thought we would do as part of our Getting Organized in January is talk about creating a craft budget. So before I go any further, we made you all something. This is a free digital download. You can print it out. It's over on our website on the tools page. Mr. InStitches will have a link for you shortly. You can pop over there. Just scroll to the bottom of the page. It's called our monthly craft budget or a budget planner, craft budget planner. So it's literally that. It's a planner. You can use one every month. And we're going to sort of take you through it today. And if none of you have, or if some of you have never written a budget before, this will hopefully help. If some of you are already into budgeting, then you might get a real kick out of this. And if you guys are into, agendas, or you're trying to figure out how to find money in order to, keep your hobby alive, then with any luck, we'll have some helpful tips in today's tutorial. But this is really handy, being able to write it all down. I think we were talking about this last week and the week before. When you are able to write things down, get stuff out of your head, organize it on paper, check mark, things off. I feel, at least for me, that helps to greatly reduce my sense of anxiety or the feelings I have where sometimes I feel like I'm a bit out of control in my own life. So when you sort of control where your spending goes, or control sort of how you use your time in a day, or you organize sort of all of your things and your time and all that stuff, I find that helps. That just helps. It kind of makes you feel like you've got 2 feet firmly planted on the ground. Your head is no longer in the clouds, and you kind of have a way forward. So that's important. And it doesn't have to be complicated or annoying or any of those things. It actually can be an awful lot of fun. And we've even got a handy dandy little Money Smart checklist on our planner that we're going to go through today that are a whole bunch of different things you want to remember to check every month when you're diving into your hobby or you're going to do some shopping. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Excellent.
Yes.
So we should give everyone some time to go get it.
Yes.
Before you jump into it. So while we're waiting, I would like to read out Mackenzie's question of the day.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people answered in the chat earlier, which is great.
Perfect. Well, if anybody missed it,
I'm sure everyone's curious about your answer. So Mackenzie asks, and this is for everyone again, if you're just joining us, would you rather watch a movie or a video? And I assume she means YouTube video.
Like a YouTube video?
While crocheting. You can do either.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think of that, Miss Jayda?
Well,
the crochet nerd.
I do love to do multiple things at once. I know that's shocking news to you, but
what? No.
You know what? I am like the biggest fence sitter when it comes to these things. Okay, once again, I have to answer, it depends. So if I'm working on a blanket or a scarf or something that has a repeating pattern, definitely Netflix and chill. I'll put on a movie, I'll put on some TV show or whatever that I'm binging on Netflix, and I will just sit back and watch and crochet. Usually it's a pattern that I don't have to think about or look at. So for sure, when I'm like working on a big, long project, definitely movies, TV shows, stuff like that. But if I'm fiddling, I'm designing, I'm sort of fussing with little corners or edges or ideas or designs, then it's YouTube for sure. I love that because I can have it like on my phone or my tablet, and I can just pause it when I'm kind of want to make a note or I want to sort of concentrate a little bit more on what I'm doing. I honestly don't know how that breaks down time-wise. I feel like I do an equal amount of crochet and watching movies and an equal amount of crochet and watching YouTube. So if I have to focus, this sounds hilarious. If I actually have to think about what I'm doing and focus, I'll just have YouTube on so I can pause it. But if I'm watching like a TV show or a movie, usually that's on like the television.
I think you were saying earlier, it really depends on your mood and what you're working on.
It does. Yeah.
Because like sometimes you want to really get into a movie. Sometimes maybe you've seen it before, so you just want it playing in the background.
That too.
Podcasts on like YouTube or audiobooks.
Well, once again, that's if
it depends on how much you want to pay attention.
Yeah.
And depending on the project.
If I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing, then I'll have YouTube playing because I can pause it.
You can kind of like bounce around.
I can be quick with
little snippets of videos and things.
But I don't like to interrupt movies or TV shows once they get going. I don't like to keep pausing them.
Yeah.
So I will only sit and crochet something that I don't have to do. Yeah, I don't want to. Don't stop. Stop asking me if I'm done watching.
Does anyone else? I don't know how. I'm curious to know how everyone feels. Anyone that has Netflix out there or any other streaming service, does it really irritate you when they stop your binge and they go, "Continue watching"?
Are you still watching?
Are you still watching?
Yes, I'm still watching.
Like 9 out of 10 times, it's like, yes, I'm still watching. Don't stop my binge.
Yeah, come on.
I'm curious to know what other people think of that because I find it extremely irritating. Yes, I'm still watching.
Yes.
Stop asking me. Go away.
Yeah.
Yes. Joe says yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Because especially if you're watching like tasty little short snippet.
Yeah. Like some of those sitcoms, like right now we're watching The Office, which is just so funny. It's so good.
It's so funny.
And they're like, what, 20-minute episodes?
22, 21 minutes. They're so
short.
It's
really annoying. You feel like you're constantly seeing that. Continue watching?
Yeah.
Are you still watching?
And if you cut out the intro for some of these things, it's even shorter. You know how you can skip ahead the intro?
That's right. It's even shorter.
Yeah. Anyway, yes.
Anyway, that's completely that has nothing to do with budgeting at all.
A little deep dive into Mr. InStitches' personal pet peeves.
Yeah, a little deep dive into my pet peeves. I'll be writing to Netflix this afternoon. Dear Netflix, I have an issue with your buttons.
I have a bone to pick with your buttons. Oh my goodness gracious!
You know what? I'm not alone.
Okay, I didn't think.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is pretty much. It looks almost like 99% absolutely hate it.
It interrupts your flow. You know.
It interrupts your flow. It's like you get comfortable.
You do.
And then you gotta like find the remote.
Oh, and if there's more than one of you watching TV, I am sure that usually there's one person designated to be the remote person in your family. And so if they kind of doze off,
that's my job.
And you want to continue watching and it goes, do you want to continue watching? And you're like trying to quietly reach over to press the yes, I want to continue watching without waking somebody up, you know, the sleeping bear in the room. Yeah. Just keep playing. Yeah.
Just play. And you know what the worst part about it? I still have a bone to pick with Netflix. You can't even turn it off. No. It's like they decided that this is how they want it to be. It's like, what if I don't want that option?
I feel
what if I want to turn that off?
I feel like that should be an option because I can see how it would be handy if you're the type of person who puts it on late at night.
Yep.
And you don't want to miss out on too much.
I understand that
I get it.
They're trying to help people control their internet usage.
Yes,
because some people are on set plans.
Set plans. Yes.
So I get that.
Sure.
But why can't you choose? Why can't you say, ask me every 3rd episode, every 5th, every 8th?
Or maybe if you're going to
episode.
sit down and watch like a TV series, maybe just before you start the TV series, it should say, how many episodes do you want to watch in a row? Or do you want this feature turned on or turned off? Because obviously you're not going to get interrupted halfway through a movie. Hey, do you want to continue watching this movie?
Are you still watching this movie?
Yes.
Just before like this big action scene, you just want to throw.
You're like eating popcorn.
You want to throw tomatoes at your TV screen, like. You know what? Everyone in the chat agrees. So woohoo!
Okay, so
that's it. So we're all sending emails to Netflix.
Sending emails to Netflix. Oh my gosh.
Okay, back to the topic.
Back to planning.
Mackenzie asked about movies and videos, and it got my head all
It's true.
I was thinking about, Netflix and binge watching.
Well, I have to
and
say,
then I was thinking about the audiobooks.
It's a good point. I mean, one of the reasons that I do choose to watch movies or TV shows if I'm crocheting something large is because they'll just play uninterrupted, and I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you can set YouTube to just like autoplay.
Yes,
you
can.
If you want to get into a playlist or something, and
I do enjoy doing that too. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Okay. Before you get back into budgeting, thanks everyone for indulging.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thank you thanks you, Mackenzie, for the question and indulging my pet peeve, my Netflix pet peeves. That sent me through the roof. It's because the last few nights I've been like wanting to throw something at the screen. Like, stop asking me.
It's because all of a sudden we're watching a short television series. Normally we watch movies and it's not usually an issue.
It's that in the computer systems when it's like, do you want to do this? Yes. Are you sure?
Yes.
Do you want to do this? Yes. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Still
Are you
sure?
sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And it's like, after a day of that, you're like, you want to throw your computer out the window. It's like, stop asking me if I'm sure.
You're making me double question myself. Oh my gosh.
Okay. First, we're going to get to a super sticker. So a big thank you to Sandy, who sent us a super sticker of a big heart.
Aww.
And a big welcome to, let me see if I say this correctly. We have a new member. Matches House of Charms.
House of Charms? That sounds...
Mass Chess House of Charms. I think I got it right.
Mass chess?
Mass Chess. Yeah. Let me know, Mass Chess,
if I got
that.
House of Charms if we're saying
House of Charms. Let us know if we got that
and
right.
Welcome.
A big thank you and a big welcome. We have a new welcome emoji.
Yes.
That the members helped us choose.
Mr. InStitches was refreshing our welcome emoji, and we put it to the family members to see which one they liked the best, and the votes came in, and which one won?
The light blue one.
The light blue one.
Yeah, the light blue one won by quite a bit.
I love it.
So
it's fresh. It's
a refresh. We'll bring back the other one in the near future.
Down the road,
it's a nice little change.
Yeah. So welcome, thank you, and welcome everyone who's joining us. And we are going to talk about craft budgeting today. I know we kind of went off the rails there earlier.
As usual.
But such is life. Okay, so I think, and we hopefully gave everybody a chance to get over to our website and download our free little printable. It's a monthly craft budget. Mr. InStitches will also put that link back in the chat in case you're just popping in. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the tools page of our website, you'll find our monthly craft budget planner sheet there. You can download that, and you can print off as many as you need. I made it so that it's a month. So we like to look at things at a month at a glance. And so that's kind of how I was thinking about this budget planner. So it's just a monthly thing. I feel like that's more of a it's not too much to bite off and it's not too little to bite off. I feel like sometimes a week goes by so quickly that, creating a craft budget for the week might be kind of, you just finally get your craft budget written and it would be Sunday already and you'd be starting the next week. So we went with a monthly look and we thought we'd go through it today. So if you're new to budgets, or maybe you're old school with budgets, or you've never really thought about making a craft budget before, we thought we'd talk about some of the pros and the cons, how to easily put one together. And of course, you can use this kind of a concept in a whole bunch of different places in your life. But obviously, this one is definitely oriented towards crochet, knitting. You could even use it for sewing if you sort of wanted to, instead of where it says yarn, you kind of like, for that month, you just sort of like pencil in fabric or something, especially if you're buying lots of fabric. So what's a budget? Well, budgets are generally something that is money related. It tells you how much you have, how much you can spend, but most importantly, it kind of is supposed to give you an idea of how much you should spend, that much or less, to sort of stay inside of your goals so that you don't overspend, right? Yeah. Overspending is something we all do, especially when you go into a craft store.
It's to help you control and balance your income. basically.
It also gives you an idea of where you're at from one month to the next. So that's why we like to do them monthly, because there are set costs that we all have in a month. Some of us more than others, depends on your age, depends on your sort of your position in life. You know, like if you're, you know, at the head of a really busy household, or maybe you're still like a teenager, everybody can put together a budget. Even if you don't think you've got a whole lot of bills or things to like worry about in a week, it's still a good idea to kind of know how much you're going to spend, or have a good idea of how much you are spending maybe on your hobby. So that might be something that can be sort of surprising to some of us, is how much we do spend on the hobby. He says, sort of like looking in the closet. Okay, so really simply, this is how you structure a budget. You take your income for the month. So you should know sort of all of the different avenues of income you might have. So this could be everything. It could be anything from, you know, you have a job, maybe you've got a couple of side jobs, maybe you pick up some little sort of odd jobs on the side, maybe you walk dogs or something, run errands for a couple of neighbors, anywhere you've got money coming in a month, you tally it all up, and that is your income for the month. Try to be as exacting as possible. You don't have to be as exacting every single month, but when you're first starting out and doing a budget, it really helps because it gives you a good solid idea of where you're at. So you figure out all the different places that money's coming in a month, and you write it down, tally them all up, that's your income. Then all the places that money is going out to in a month, you want to be really honest with yourself. So you've got all of your set bills. For a lot of people, that's rent or a mortgage. It's, like all of your utilities, like your hydro or your internet, phone bills, stuff like that. So any bill you have to pay out in a month, tally those all up. So how much they are per month. Some of the set fixed costs like rent and mortgage and some utilities. Sometimes that's pretty set. So it doesn't vary too much from one month to the next. So tally all those up, and then think about all the other things you might have. So we've got them written here. So bills in this section B. So on our little planner, section A is your total income. Section B, this big yellow section, is all of the ways that money might be leaving you. And I feel like this is sometimes harder to track than money coming in. Usually we're pretty aware of where our money's coming from, what jobs we've got, maybe who owes us money for helping them out or doing a little something. It's not as difficult to figure out where your money's coming in from, but sometimes it's difficult to figure out or remember where all the money is kind of going in a month. So we made section B pretty large. We put down some main things for people to think of, and then we left a few blank spaces so you could fill in your own things. And we're just going to run through some of those ideas. So obviously bills, those are the set bills you have in a month, like the ones I mentioned. Debt service. So if you've got a loan, yeah, big boo there.
I'll just be booing all afternoon.
Just a big boo for the B section. B means boo. I thought B meant bills. No, it means boo. Debt service. So if you've got a loan, a car loan, if you've got like a school loan, a student loan, any kind of loans that you may have taken out, even credit card loans, this is sort of something where you're giving like a monthly repayment. It's a repayment plan. Then you want to sort of figure out how many of those you've got and sort of put that in on that line too. So I consider debt repayment or debt service something separate from the regular monthly bills, because sometimes you can play with how much money you hand off to debt service. Some debt service is kind of fixed, like they only want so much per month, but some of them are kind of open. So if you had a little bit of extra money some months, you can sort of throw more at it. So debt service is kind of separate from regular bills. Then savings contributions. So this is something that we feel is pretty important, at least in our little world. It's always good to try and just stuff a little bit away for a rainy day. Grandma always taught us that. Mm-hmm. So, even if it's just a couple of dollars a week, if you stuff that away in a mattress or into a savings account or something, it shouldn't be overlooked. You should always sort of try to stick a couple dollars away.
Everyone should have a little emergency fund,
little emergency
even if it's little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, that helps with anxiety. Believe me, if you know that you've got a little bit of a cushion to land on, that helps. So savings contribution should always sort of be part of your monthly outgoing. Now, the nice thing about savings is that you're not actually giving that money to anybody. You're paying your future self. This is you being respectful of your future self, and you're putting a little something away for your future self. So whatever that is, whether you're saving for a vacation or you're saving for retirement or you're saving for that brand new toy that you're really looking forward to, savings is something that should be part of the B section. Then we've got subscriptions. That's also like memberships. So if you've got like a Netflix subscription,
which I'll be canceling this afternoon.
Anything else, maybe magazines, any kind of like stuff like that you've got. Memberships, like if you belong to a gym or a club, or there's some kind of like monthly dues involved, maybe the Girl Scouts, something like that. 4-H, anything that might have a monthly due, that would kind of go into that category. So you want to tally all those up. And then anything else that you monthly do, maybe you monthly give to charity, maybe you tithe with your church, anything that is a monthly bit of money that's going out the door. Remember them all, write them all down, and then you want to total up your section B. So at the bottom of that yellow space there, we've got total section B. So you tally up all of the outgoing funds, the boo section, and then in the green section down here, you take section A, which is blue, that's your total income, subtract B, boo, which is your total B or outgoing income, outgoing outcome. And then at the bottom, you've got your total play money. So after you've done all of the adulting, boo, you've made sure that everybody's been paid, everybody that needs money, anything that needs to be looked after, whatever's left, no matter how small and humble, is your play money, also known as disposable income. But let's face it, it's play money. This is the stuff that you put in your pocket, you go to the mall, or you go to your favorite craft store, or maybe you go out and see a movie, or you go out for dinner. This is sort of the stuff that you get to entertain yourself with. So even if it's just a small amount left over at the end of the month, that's yours. You can do with it what you want. And it's going to be different for everybody. It's also going to vary by month. Some months, are just like the car goes and then the water heater goes and then a big storm comes along and rips off half the shingles on your roof. And you're like, why? What did I do to you? And some months are a little more expensive than others. Other months, maybe you've got subscriptions that are only renewable once a year, so you don't really have to think about that bill going out that month. Maybe you finally paid off one of your credit cards, and so you suddenly have a whole payment you don't have to worry about. There are all sorts of reasons why your income versus outgoing funds will change one month to the next. So I like to do that every single month to kind of see where I'm at. Now that play money, total play money, that lovely green section, green means go, you don't have to spend the whole thing. In fact, if you save it, you can always use it as carryover into the next month. And this is particularly great if you are on a very restricted play diet. And I'm thinking especially of myself as a teenager and a young working adult when I really didn't have any income to play with. It was all going to, savings or to servicing some kind of debt or paying like phone bills or whatever else I sort of had going. I had bought a car, it's rough. It's rough when you get started. And sometimes it's rough at the other end of your life when you're retiring and you're on a fixed income. So everybody's always in a different boat, but everybody can use a budget, no matter how big or how small. So once you know how much money you have to play with, the real trick here is not to get depressed.
This is the fun part you're getting into.
This is the fun part.
Yeah, we got the
adulting and
the adulty poopy part out. So now we're gonna get to the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. So at least now you have an idea of how much money you can play with. And if that is a zero or a negative amount, take heart. All is not lost. So you've got an idea of where you're at and how you can spend money. We have a monthly Money Smart checklist for you right next to that colorful section, because this is a set of things that you should look at every month. So even if you have $250 of play money in a month to play with, it was just Christmas, you got money for Christmas, you got money for your birthday, whatever happened, you barely had any, debts or bills to pay that month, and you've got all this money, you should still check the Money Smart playlist or the Money Smart checklist. So let's go through that. While you're planning projects, which we have all listed down here below, so you can put in the project you want to make, how much yarn you think you need, the price per skein or ball or hank or however you buy it, any other supplies you might need for the project. That includes shipping if you're going to be sending it to someone. All of that tallied up, and then you total both of those things together, and that gives you your total. I'm going to get into this a little bit more in a second, but this is sort of you kind of know you have a project you want to do. First thing you want to do is check your stash. Some of us have a lot of yarn. Some of us don't have very much, but you never know if you might have something already in your stash. So this is another reason it's good to be organized. organize your craft supplies, organize your little hook nook or wherever it is you kind of get crafty. This is so you don't lose track of what you have. And also, you might have a hook that's a 3.75 millimeter, or I think they also call them an F or a 5 in the US. You might have one of those hooks. You may not use it very often. And because you don't use it very often, it maybe got sort of stuffed away in a box or a pencil case, or it's sitting in a little container somewhere. And you realize for the pattern you want to do, you need a 3.75 millimeter, but you don't immediately see your hook. It's always good to go back into your stash and see if you've got the hook size you need, rather than going out and buying another one, because some of us wind up with multiples of the same size hook because we get carried away. So it can be something as simple as that. Right hook size, you've got scissors. Do you need a measuring tape? Oh no, I have one of those. I can borrow my mom's, whatever you've got. Always check your stash. You may have the yarn you need. You may have yarn that's a good substitute, meaning you don't have to go out and spend money on more yarn. So always check your stash first, because you'd be amazed at what manages to accumulate when you've been into a hobby for even more than a month.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding.
We have a super chat.
Oh, hey, wonderful. Thank you.
It is from Shelly.
Thank you, Shelly. Thank you very much.
Big thank you to Shelly. Shelly says, thanks for the happiness you guys bring to us.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you guys.
Just the banter between the two of you is fun. And thanks for the free printouts.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks for joining us. We're like this all the time.
Yep.
We're constantly back and forth about stuff. Oh my goodness. You're so welcome. Thank you guys for all hanging out with us. Thank you for the super chat, Shelly. I appreciate that. And also, if you're just joining us, make sure you get the free download on our tools page. It's at the very bottom of the tools page. It's a monthly craft budget planner. Super helpful. I will be keeping mine in my agenda at the beginning of every month so that I kind of know where I'm at. I know how much money I can spend. And I also want to always check that Money Smart checklist. You forget from one month to the next where you might find money or find supplies or just sort of smart, slightly more money.
You know what we forgot to put on that list?
What?
Checking the couch pillows. That should be on there, I think.
Do people still have change in their pockets though this day and age? Or is it like
the
debit card that's down behind the...
Yeah, you're looking for debit cards and cell phones.
And gift cards. And cell phones. So true.
Hey, this cell phone's from 8 years ago.
Oh my God.
I might have money on here. I might have Bitcoin
this thing's
on
full
here.
Of Bitcoin. I'm a millionaire. Yeah. So the first thing on the list is check the stash. That's it. You know what? I would say it's a no-brainer, but it's not, because even I'm guilty of not checking the stash before I run out the door. I'm excited. I want to go to the yarn store. I want to pick out something new. And I don't check my stash. And sometimes it's happened multiple times, actually. I will come home with the same ball, the same color pattern, the same everything as a couple of balls I already have in my stash, because I'm like, oh, I really like it. Yeah, obviously you bought it already twice before. So check the stash. Next, this is also a great money conscious thing to do. Supply swap with your friends. Chances are good. You've got friends who are also into hobbies like you. Not all of us. I mean, I have to say I was the only knitter in my small group of friends for a long period of time. But then one by one, I got a few other people into it, and we were all kind of like knitting at the table in the library at lunch in high school.
Mm-hmm. Adds up.
It does. And they're kind of putting together a stash of stuff while you're putting together a stash of stuff, no matter how humble or how ridiculous. And sometimes it's good to phone a friend. Literally, you call up somebody, your mom, your grandma, your aunt, your uncle who makes amazing socks, your friends, anybody who's into the same kind of hobby that you are, and say, hi, just wondering, do you have any yarn in this category, fiber content, weight category, whatever? Do you have any of this? Do you possibly have an extra ball of this color? Especially if you guys all kind of like to do some of the similar things, and see if there's anything you can swap for it. So maybe you've got a couple balls of something left over from another project and you don't really want it anymore. This happens to Mama InStitches all the time. She'll end up with something that she's like, I bought this because I thought it was pretty and I don't like it, so she's got yarn to swap, and maybe they've got, something that you could use. It's a good substitute for the thing you need. It's a good complement to the stuff you already have. So always ask if you can swap supplies with a friend.
I'd like to share this comment from Carol.
Sure.
Carol says, And check pockets before doing laundry. I have found money almost every time I do laundry.
Oh.
Finders keepers.
Finders keepers is right.
Yeah, I agree. If you're gonna do the laundry, you can keep what you find.
Yeah, finders keepers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, actually, that's just a good thing to do in general.
Maybe like a stack of government bonds one day, or a briefcase.
I mean, how many people have left their wallet in the back of their pants?
Ooh, so you can rifle right through that thing. Credit cards, everything. Bank statements, cash, shopping.
Add to monthly craft budget and go. Yeah, always check pockets before you put your stuff in the laundry, because you also don't want to bang up your poor laundry machine. You never know what might be in those pockets. Yes. Especially
like keys.
If you've got little ones that are constantly picking up rocks and things and going, oh, this is, and stuffing it in their pockets. Oh my gosh. All right. So supply swap with friends. That's a good one. Number 3 on our little list of money smart checklists. So this is a money smart checklist. Clip coupons. So a lot of craft stores, a lot of regular stores too, that just have a little craft section, like department stores. A lot of them have coupons. Now I know coupons are a much bigger thing in the US. We have some here in Canada. I feel like Canada is really big on loyalty points. So like a lot of places here have cards that have like a loyalty point program to them. So I'm going to lump that in with coupons. But I know in the States, like there's always like, you know, a lot of places are in competition with each other. And so they do things like create coupons, and coupon clipping is fun. You can get a whole other binder going for that. But it's smart, because if you just need like one ball of this really nice yarn to complete a project, and you're going to Michael's often has like a, you know, buy one thing, get 40% off kind of coupons. Well, you've almost saved half of the ticket price on that one thing you needed. So it's really good to look for coupons. Coupons can be found in flyers. If you're still getting flyers sent to your house, they can be found online and often printed off, or you can download the flyers and the coupons to your phone. So some places, more and more actually, you can just go up and show your phone and they'll take the coupon off your phone.
We've done that at Michael's.
We've done that at Michael's a couple times. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding.
We have some super chats.
Oh, goodness.
Actually, we have a new super chat and a new member.
Oh, my goodness. Wonderful.
So a big welcome to Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
Who has joined our silk level.
Welcome to the family. Thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Big welcome. Big welcome emoji.
Big welcome. Yep. I think I've already used it.
I have no buttons to push.
And a big thank you to Blair.
Blair. Thank you, Blair.
Blair has a super chat here. A huge shout out, because your channel is the best crochet channel ever. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Love your live streams and crochet along videos. Don't stop bringing your awesomeness. You got me through heart surgery recovery.
Oh my gosh.
Aw.
Welcome back to the other side.
Oh
my gosh.
That's sweet. Thank you for sharing that with us. And we're happy to know that you're okay.
You feel stronger and better every single day, too. Yeah. That's a big thing to come through. Wow.
Yes.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
The good thing about crochet is that you can do it in bed while you're resting.
Yes, and I recommend doing very simple patterns, nothing that upsets you.
Yeah, light stuff. Don't
nothing that makes your blood pressure.
Do the easy stitches.
Yeah, do the easy stitches.
That's great. I'd also like to welcome, I'm seeing a lot of new names and a lot of people saying I'm new here and I'm new
here.
So I'd like to welcome all the newbies.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
We're very pleased to have you here. And if you're very new, you might notice that our live stream quality isn't as good as our Friday videos. It's because we live in rural Canada and we do not have very good internet.
It's amazing we can even show you what we have.
It's amazing we can get online at all. So anyway, welcome to you all. Thank you.
Yes. So it's good that everyone knows that there is a distinct difference between the video we typically put up on a Friday.
Yes.
Which is rendered in HD versus a live stream video, which is, a little bit blurry.
And if you're ever curious, right below right below the video, where the video plays in your software. So if you're watching on a laptop, computer, tablet, phone, whatever, right below the video, it'll say the publishment date, like the publishing date, if it was a video, It'll say premiered on if it was a video that premiered, and a premiered video just basically means that it starts and everybody watches it together for the first time. That's all that is, but it's still a video. And if it was a live stream, it'll say streamed so many hours ago, so many days ago, or so many months ago. It'll say streamed. So if it says streamed, you know that it was actually a live stream and not a video. So that's the quick and easy way to figure out what you're watching and maybe answer the question, why is this quality kind of funny? Is it me? No, it's not you. It's probably just what you're watching. Yeah, so back to our Money Smart checklist. So we've talked about checking the stash. We've talked about supply swap with friends. We've talked about clipping coupons. Now, one of my favorites, near and dear to my heart, check your local thrift stores. I love thrift stores. Thrifting is one of my absolute favorite things to do when I can get out. I know it's not really something that a lot of us maybe have an option to do right now, since shopping is kind of a funny thing, depending on where you are. But some thrift stores are also online. So it's also good to check your local thrift stores. These are secondhand stores. I think they call them charity shops sometimes. They've got a bunch of different names, but a lot of them have a little section where the craft supplies are kept. I have found many a pair of knitting needles and old steel crochet hooks in craft stores. I've found bags of yarn. If you're buying yarn from from a secondhand store and it's in a bag, I recommend opening the bag, giving it a sniff. Do the sniff test. I know I say this and people giggle, including Mr. InStitches, but it's important because if it still has all its labels and it's acrylic or cotton and it smells a little funny, maybe a little musty, maybe smoky, maybe foody, whatever it might be, you can wash it. So you can wash this yarn and then let it dry and then use it, and that's fine. But if it's wool and it smells funny, unless you're really comfortable going through the process of unwinding it and washing wool and letting it dry and doing the whole thing by hand, I would do actually all of it by hand. Just to be on the safe side.
You want to do it by hand.
But if it doesn't smell, then obviously you can jump right into using it. But I always recommend giving it the sniff test because not everybody wants to go through the process of washing their yarn before they use it. And you don't want to make something that smells funny, and you don't want to make something and the whole time you're making it, you have this smell under your nose. So
you also don't want to make something for somebody and give it to them while it smells like must and mold.
Yeah.
or worse.
Or worse. And on that note, anything you get from a thrift store, wash it before you do anything with it. So if you're getting hooks, needles, yarn, whatever, wash it first. That's just sort of the smart, prudent thing to do. And it's not that big.
We have a video on how to do that gently.
Yes.
You're basically just dipping it gently and squeezing it in a bucket of water. You're not actually vigorously washing.
No, and then of course, if you use a little bit of hair conditioner or something in the rinsing, you'll smell so nice. Yeah. So
even better than new.
Even better than new. It's so true. So always check your local thrift stores. Thrift stores have fabric, yarn, they have tools. I even found, I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy it, but I had walked there. So I didn't really want to be walking around town with this thing in my arms. But one of the thrift stores I visited once a few years ago had an entire knitting machine, like the real big professional ones where you're running that shuttle back and forth. Oh, that's
super. Yeah, the industrial style.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And it had all of its parts and it even had its box. But I didn't want to. And it was like a couple days later, I'm like, oh, I have a car now. I can get back. No, I was gone.
It was gone. Nah, you should have put it on your shoulders.
It was only like $25.
You should have packed it on your shoulder.
I feel robbed. Anyway.
You could have told the person behind the counter, here's the money. Hold this for me.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
No.
I was in a hurry. Okay, dude. But I will say this: thrift store shopping is like treasure hunting, which I think is one of the reasons that I like it, and a lot of other people do, because you never know what you're going to find. I know out the East Coast, shout out to the East Coast, Frenchie's is a chain of thrift stores out there. At least it was back when I was hunting around out there. They have amazing stuff. I love the way they would do things too. They would just dump everything into big kind of tables, and you kind of just, dug through it to see what you could find. It's fun. It's like thrift. It's like treasure hunting. So it's kind of, you're going looking for supplies, but you're also doing a little treasure hunting at the same time. So that's a lot of fun, and it's really cheap. It's amazing. You can find bags of yarn for like 50 cents,
a couple dollars,
couple bucks. Yeah.
So go for that.
I got an entire set of beautiful sets of 4 double-pointed knitting needles that were all neatly bundled up. and they were 25 cents per set. So I completely filled out my double-pointed knitting needle set for, I think, like $3. Oh, yeah. What a find. Anyway.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a new member.
Yay!
It's Blair.
Blair, welcome.
Blair has fully recovered.
Blair has fully recovered.
Yes. So a big welcome to Blair for joining our Vicuna level.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome emoji. Welcome emoji.
Make sure, if you're unaware, make sure you check out the community tab page. Whether you are a member or a subscriber, we have tons of
all sorts of
information and perks and little goodies on there.
I really enjoy the community tab. So if you go to our homepage, youtube.com/Jayda InStitches, all of the tabs are across the top and the community tab is there. And I love the community tab because it allows us to share things, photographs, ideas, whatever that's kind of going through our head.
I can't remember. Does it say community tab or does it just say community?
It says community.
Okay.
Yeah. Videos, playlists, something community.
Yeah. So that's where you go for that community. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So back to our little list. So checking thrift stores, personal favorite. Reuse and recycle. So the next on our little list, reuse, recycle. This is always another thing. So while you're checking the stash, also check your closet. So if you need, for example, let's say you're making a bag and you need a lining for your bag. Well, rather than buying lining, going to the thrift store, going to the fabric store, rather than buying lining specific for that project, ask yourself, is there anything I have on hand that could be a decent lining for this bag? Old t-shirts. So I'm not talking stained or ripped or anything like that, but if you've got a t-shirt that someone's grown out of, or maybe that you don't want to wear anymore, or is feeling a little thin, so maybe you bought it and you thought, you know what, I don't think I like this as much as I thought I did. T-shirts can be found at the thrift store too for pretty cheap. T-shirts.
You can make a bunch of t-shirt yarn.
Yes, you can literally make your own supplies out of.
Yeah. How thrifty do you want to get?
Yeah, how thrifty do you want to get? But we're jumping ahead.
We're going. Yeah, that'll be another.
That's
video.
a whole other video. Make your own.
Actually, we have a make a t-shirt yarn video.
That's fun. If you've never tried that, that's a.
Our employee of the month will find it for us. She knows who she is.
She'll find it. Yes. So t-shirts their t-shirt material doesn't fray. It's soft. It's usually cotton or cotton blend, so it washes well. It'll wash with whatever it's paired up with. And you can easily sometimes just take the t-shirt as it is, cut off the sort of this part, so cut along here, and then just sort of sew it into an open rectangle, and then sew it onto the inside of the bag. You know, you can cut it to fit if you're making a smaller bag. But t-shirts make great bag lining. They make great lining for scarves, like this one that we just did. They make great lining for baby blankets. So consider t-shirts. T-shirts is often something you have on hand. You've got extras. Somebody in the house doesn't want anymore, or you can find them at thrift stores. Just make sure you wash them first before you use them. Cheap lining, really good lining. Also doesn't fray, and it's not slippery. I know if you're making a fashionable bag, it's kind of nice to have like slippery, satiny kind of lining on the inside of it. Same thing with like jackets and whatnot. But t-shirt material is just a little harder wearing. It's not going, even if a little hole develops, it's not going to rip and fray like that satiny lining does. So don't underestimate the power of a t-shirt.
Also, don't underestimate the power of a ding, ding, ding.
Oh, ding.
We've got.
I wasn't quite sure where you were going with that.
Where's he going with that? We've got a ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
I can't, my little bell is over there. I can't reach it. And I'm being lazy. So I'm just going to make the bell sound today. So we have a super chat from Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
And I want to make sure I didn't miss one because I think, nope, I got that one. So this is from Rebecca. Rebecca says, hello, I am also new.
Hi.
I love the tutorials. I am currently working on a hooded scarf from your video using shawl in a ball. Ooh. That's a beautiful one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
I'm from Ontario.
Hey, wonderful. Hey. Neighbor, how's it going?
Fellow Ontarian. How's the weather where you are?
Yeah, we're in the middle
of
experiencing quite a snowstorm, which is funny because I feel like I said that last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We had a snowstorm.
There was literally nothing in between.
I know. There was a couple of fluffs.
A couple of little fluffs overnight, but this is sizable.
Yes.
Thank you and welcome.
I know it's a bit late, but we forgot to ask everyone how our sound and video quality. We're 45 minutes in.
People have been complaining for an hour.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Can you guys let us know? I guess you know. I assume it's okay.
I'm assuming it's okay. Hey, as long as you know and download this from our tools page on our website. Lovely. That's all you need. Yeah, it'll look much better in person.
Sounds good to me, says Cherise.
Okay, great.
Tech check 5 out of 5, says Sherry.
Perfect.
Great, thank you, everyone.
Marvelous. Love it. Okay. Also, in addition to reuse, recycle, you can chop up old bed sheets and pillowcases. That makes good fabric lining for things. You can take apart old sweaters. So this was something I did just for a joke. When I was away at university, I used to love going to the local thrift stores, and I found this sweater that was so insanely hideous that I took it home and we gave it to a friend of mine as a joke. And because she was really sweet, and she was like, "Oh, thank you." Thought I was gonna keep a straight face. Anyway, I love sweaters like that because when you take them apart, so you kind of cut the arms off, cut off anything that looks a bit gnarled, you can sometimes actually unwind them if they're an actual sweater. And when I say a real sweater, I mean one that is clearly knit or crochet, not one that is like a sweatshirt, which is that tiny little super machine knit sort of style, like think sweatpants or sweatshirts. An actual knit or crochet sweater, or blanket for that matter, again, from the thrift store, you can take them apart and you can ball up, kind of wash them first and then take them apart and wind up that yarn in as many balls as you can get out of it. And that can sometimes give you some really neat yarn. You can use it for practice if it didn't come out very well. If it's really, really fancy and fluffy, you can turn it into a scarf. So it can be a little time consuming, but it can also be kind of fun. And if you got the sweater for $2, where's the harm in giving it a try to sort of take it apart and see what you can make out of it? You also don't have to unwind it. Sometimes you can take a sweater and just, there's a million tutorials on YouTube, but you can cut the shape of your hand or cut sort of the shape of your head, and you can make like hats, scarves, and mittens out of pre-made sweaters just by cutting out the shape and then sewing them together. And reuse, reduce, recycle. This is such fun stuff, and it's cheap. It's a cheap way to get busy, be crafty, and not actually have to spend a lot of money. So also dig into your own sweater category. You don't always have to head to the thrift store. You might sort of, again, same thing. If you've outgrown a sweater, if you've outgrown bed sheets, maybe you upsized your mattress or you downsized your mattress. There's no need to get rid of your old sheets. All of that stuff can be reused. So so check around your house too. You never know what you might find. All right, next, take apart an unwanted work in progress. We do talk about this quite a bit. Mm-hmm. This is actually quite a good source of material if you aren't thinking about it like that. So if you've got a work in progress that's been in progress for a long time and you just cannot get the energy to finish it because it's so boring, or you lost the pattern, or you don't know what hook you were using, or you don't even know where the yarn is or anything, take it apart. Take it apart, roll it back up into balls, put it back in your stash. Chances are good that there might be a color or a kind of yarn in there that you can use to complete a project or start and finish an entire smaller project. So if you've got a work in progress that you're no longer excited about, take it apart, cannibalize it, use it. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Very cheap. You can put something back into your stash. You'd
be surprised how much yarn you get out of that.
Yes. And I'm thinking things like, blankets,
half blankets, half sweaters.
Next on our little checklist, Money Smart checklist, watch for sales. So there are certain times of year that are good to go yarn shopping over others. So if you want really pretty holiday inspired colors, yarn for Christmas, the tinsely stuff, the variegated red, green, white, all that kind of thing, go in January. So anybody who's got a whole bunch of leftover Christmas yarn, it'll be on sale immediately following that holiday. So in the yarn world, there isn't as much of this. There is some. I often have found some pretty great deals at Walmart after Christmas on kind of Christmassy styled yarn. But in fact, sometimes yarn was classified as holiday, and I was like, why is this considered holiday? It's gorgeous. I could use this any time of year. So you never know. It's always good to go right after a holiday to the craft section and see what kind of holiday inspired crafts are on sale. This includes kits. And kits for all kinds of different crafts. They put things together going, oh, this will be kind of Christmassy. Take it, use it, use parts of it, or just put it away for next year. You never know, but that's a good time to go is after the holiday. In terms of fabric, this is especially so. So a lot more fabric, and I'm thinking of like the little calico cotton prints and stuff. A lot more fabric gets printed for specific holidays than yarn does. So every kind of event, like even St. Patrick's Day, you can go and get like, cute fabric that's all, 4-leaf clovers or little like, leprechaun hats or pots of gold or something, little rainbows. And of course, if you don't want that for the specific time of year, or you want it for something else, it's good to go right after the holiday because it'll be greatly reduced. So watch for sales. Sometimes there's a discontinued yarn that'll be in a discontinued section, or the on sale section. There'll be a clearance section. So if you're actually in a physical store or on a website, go check out their clearance stuff first. That's number one rule. Always look for the sales first.
I would like to call out some of the videos that Katie found for us.
Thank you,
because they relate to everything you're talking about. So before I do that, I would like to welcome Jamie's Hooked.
Jamie's Hooked.
New member. Thank you for joining.
Jamie's Hooked.
So Katie has found some of our videos. If anyone is interested in watching them in the future, one of them is Whips, Finish, or Fling.
Yes.
That's a live stream from a long time ago.
A couple years ago.
At least a couple years.
Yeah.
So that's one that we talk about that stuff.
Yes, how to decide.
There is a lot more in here. Our employee of the month is on fire today. Whip update and new tools.
Yes.
That's another one where we talk about this sort of thing.
I think that was the following live stream from the one where we talked about Finish or Fling.
Yes. And then there was one about, I forget what the washing one is called. Washing your crochet projects or something like that.
There was... No, I think it was, I don't know. This is the problem with having like...
Anyway, that's two of them for sure.
Okay.
Those two are good. And they have extra info on
Katie, did you find the t-shirt yarn video by any chance?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that one's called either.
I think it's called How to Make T-Shirt Yarn.
Well, obviously.
I mean, we try to be as clear as possible when we
try. We try our best.
So yeah, I think if
it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, Katie, if you can find that one, that would be handy too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. What was I just saying? Yes. So watch for sales.
What are we?
I've got two more left.
Money. Okay.
On my little list.
Okay.
Here.
Before you continue,
okay.
So watch for sales. We got. So I read out our new member. That was Jamie's Hooked, and. A big thank you to Handmade by Helma.
Handmade by Helma. Wonderful.
Who has given us a super chat.
Thank you.
Says, hi, Jayda. Greetings from Hamilton on a snowy, cozy inside day.
You've got snow too. Yes. Well, you're by the water, so that
Probably
tracks.
A little extra snow.
Yeah, maybe you got a little extra. Lovely. Yes, it is a very stay-at-home, be cozy kind of day.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you could join us.
Yes.
That's so neat.
And thank you for the super chat.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it very much. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. If you're just joining us, our website, so jaydaandstitches.com/tools, I guess, .php. Anyways, Mr. Stitches will put the link in.
Yes. If anyone would like it, it's free on our website. It's free. At the bottom of the page.
Yep, you can it's down at the bottom of the tools page. You can download it, print it off.
That page right now.
And we've got two more little things on our Money Smart checklist. So these are all things you want to kind of just double think while you're, going through planning what kind of projects or how you're going to make stuff, or how, more importantly, you're going to save money in a month. Little odd jobs. Little odd jobs this is a great source of income. I know that sounds kind of funny, but I mean, anyone of any age can pick up a little odd job. When I first met Mr. InStitches, he told me that his grandmother and his aunt used to do little sewing jobs all the time. So this is something, while they were managing like 1 million kids, they were also doing your grandmother did sewing jobs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like tons.
Yeah. She'd make little aprons.
Oh, yeah. She did all kinds of things for people.
And it was a great way to bring in some money.
Things. My aunt, same thing.
Did she sell the eggs from the chickens by any chance? Probably.
I'm not sure if they sold them. They I think mainly it was for their own food.
Yeah.
I don't think they had a lot of them.
No.
But,
can never have too many.
But definitely sewing jobs.
Yeah.
Especially with all the kids.
So, there's a million ways to make a little extra money. Maybe run errands for people.
You know what? People need their stuff fixed.
People need their stuff fixed.
Like people have clothing they don't want to get rid of that has a little hole, a little rip, the zipper's off. So if you can do that,
if you can add,
you'd be amazing. How many people?
If you can fix zippers,
put a
sew
little
on
ad
buttons,
in the paper.
If you can fix little holes and stuff, it's amazing.
The internet. Jeez,
you're showing your age.
I'm showing my age.
Well, some places still have little papers.
You know what? I think I said paper because I'm thinking more localized.
Yeah, well,
like
that
you
is
want, you want to be localized. So maybe like the, when it's allowed again, the library.
But there's also when it's allowed again, and when things are allowed, you can walk people's dogs, you can sit their kids, even if it's just for an hour. That's a big one.
Yeah.
You can teach them things. So if you know how to do something, and they've got a kid that wants to learn, maybe you can help tutor kids. There's a million ways to pick up a little extra money, and that's sort of it's fun, and it's also nice to be able to have a little extra
if you have older neighbors, ask them if they need help with anything around the house, like cutting the lawn. Trimming hedges, like things like that, cleaning out leaves and
eaves troughs
and stuff,
picking up groceries. I mean, like
exactly.
Even if it's just for a couple dollars, because not everybody likes to feel like, I know a lot of us want to do nice things for people, but not everybody wants to feel like they're being handed charity. If you know what I mean? So even if you say, just give me $5 or something, that'll make them feel like they're paying for a service. What's going on? Oh my goodness, what's the last time you do that?
I haven't tuned this thing in like a year.
Poor little thing.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. I'm going to have
to show everyone our adorable little
ukulele.
Isn't it adorable?
Ooh.
Come on, you can do it. It needs tuning.
Oh my goodness. It needs to be tuned. Oh my gosh. My ear's going, really? Oh, do you have to?
Well, that was... I won't do that again until I tune it. But that was... I don't want everyone's ears bleeding.
Thank you, Mr. InStitches.
I love you, little ukulele. You just sit there and be cozy.
He's so cute.
Okay, so that was for Heidi and for Maul.
Heidi
Maul E.
And Maul E.
Yes, they super chatted us.
Thank you.
So a big thank you. I will read them out. So Heidi says, "Hi, I've been making your heart coasters into gift bags for my kiddos' Valentine's parties."
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are awesome. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. That's cute.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Ooh.
And Maul E says, "It is snowing here in the Bronx, New York."
Is it? Oh.
So they're getting snow too.
That sounds like a movie.
So I guess this is quite a big cloud covering the East Coast.
Yeah, I didn't really expect it today.
No, they weren't calling.
It also didn't really feel like it.
No.
You know, sometimes you can kind of feel like something's coming.
It just sort of came out of nowhere. It didn't feel like it was going to snow. No. So that was interesting.
Yeah, it's still coming down.
It's still going.
It's pretty. It's sort of piling up on all the trees.
So let me make sure I didn't miss anything. And I think you may continue.
I may continue. All right. Thank you. All right. So I've got one more thing on our little Money Smart checklist on our monthly budget planner. This is, if you're looking to make a little extra money for your hobby, consider turning your hobby into a little bit of a moneymaker. And this doesn't have to be a huge deal. You don't have to start fussing with, goodness gracious, with things like online shops or anything like that. You don't even have to necessarily end up doing craft shows. You can do this on a very small basis. Sometimes people just want something. So if somebody's getting, somebody's has a new baby coming into the family, if you work with a bunch of people and they know that you're crafty, just let them know, hey, if you ever want me to make you a baby blanket, or, you want something kind of like just like a little special one-off here and there, you'd be amazed at how many people would say, you know what, yeah, actually, can you make me a little baby blanket? And if you've got some things that you can sell, maybe you were like, oh, I was just so into making headbands or something at one point. I'll see if anybody wants them. Selling the odd little thing, even if it's just for a couple of bucks,
if you're still in school or university or college or something like that, or you're part of some club.
Yeah, club.
Absolutely make little things that like headbands.
Even
hats,
the office, yeah.
The office,
if you're
little gloves, things that are very useful.
Yeah, if you're allowed to post a little note on a bulletin board somewhere, just just sort of offering your services, or just, email me or, call me or whatever, you'd be amazed at how many people would be like, so I didn't know you did that,
There you go.
And also, that's another little side note. If people know that you are into crochet or sewing or knitting or whatever, you'd be amazed how often they will give you stuff. And you know what? My aunt was really into this at some point, and she doesn't want any more, and she's cleaning out.
I found this yarn.
And they come in with like a whole garbage bag full of yarn. They're like, "Do you want this?" I'll take
Yes,
that. So yeah, let people know that you're into the hobby, because you never know what might come your way. Because people don't like to throw things out. Nobody likes to throw out anything that has like value, right? So that's, and sometimes be a great source of getting stuff. And these are all money smart things you want to just double check before you dive into, fully shopping. I want to say though, in terms of shopping, the internet has made it a lot easier for us. So now, in order to compare prices, you don't even really have to leave your house. You can pull up every single one of your favorite stores that sells yarn, and you can sort of price check a particular, like kind of yarn or a specific yarn ball or something. You can see who has it, what they're selling it for, if they're offering any coupons, if they've got any sales. And that's, in store, if you plan on going to get it in store, or even if you're going to order it online. So
this is from, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, World Peas. World Peaso. Well, you know who you are. Suggests next door app if you have that in Canada. So I just wanted to point that out to everyone listening. If you have I assume that's a next door app that allows you to sort of connect with who's nearby, and for these
like
little
for
odd job
jobs or
things.
something?
Yeah. So I assume every area will have a version of it.
Like that. Great idea.
Or your local,
like
we have something called Kijiji, which you can sort of post.
You can sell things on it.
Little things and post things. And then there's like Facebook groups that are like localized.
You know what? That's an excellent point.
And that's an easy way to connect with people nearby.
Sometimes people put stuff up for free
I think
too.
I've
They're
heard
just
of
like,
that one next door.
Just come get it. I don't want it.
Come get it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. Yeah. So neighborhood app. That's another one. Neighborhood app.
Great suggestion. Thanks for
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Everyone in the chat is going to make extra coin.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
Or this week.
Well, there's a fun little challenge.
Yes.
I'm going to make $10 this week to put towards my
I'm going to make an extra $10 to put towards my new yarn. Jada's getting excited.
Challenge accepted.
Jada's getting excited.
Yeah, so those are all sort of things you can think about. I love that. Make sure you check out the online stuff, the apps, if they're sort of like pertinent to where you live. That's great. Those are all great ways to keep your expenditures down. I think that's what we're all going
However,
for.
I do want to mention, since we have a lot of younger viewers, please go through your parents.
Yes, if you're going to use an app.
Don't use these apps on your own. Make sure your parents are with you, and try to keep your personal information
as away from it as possible.
As much as it
that goes for
there
anybody.
as possible. That goes for everyone, but I know that we have young people watching, so don't do that without your parents.
Before you download an app, go online and look for reviews and see what other people have had to say about the app.
Yes.
Because that can be really handy. And you can also sometimes find people going, you know what, this one's okay, but try this one. And they might have a suggestion for something you've never even heard of. So yeah, do a little research first.
Do some research before you dive in.
That's wise.
That goes for everything, including budgets. So we've talked about how to figure out our income, all of our outgoing, the boob, the B section, how to figure out how much play money we have in a month, how to make our play money go as far as possible. That's our play money.
Yes.
So I left the booze. Yes. And now I'm in the yays.
Now we're in the yays. No booze, all yays.
No booze, all yays.
The rest of this planner is for you to plan out the projects you want to make. And now, like I said, this is monthly. So if you've only got like one project going, fine. You only have to fill in that top thing. This is just a basic guide. It's to kind of help you figure out like, what is it you want to make? What is it you need? So write down everything you need. And then before you go to the store or get online and start ordering, run through this checklist. Check your stash, phone a friend, maybe check the thrift stores, look for coupons, look for sales, see if there's anything lying around your house that you can kind of use in place of something new, kind of go through the whole checklist. And then once you know, oh, actually, I've got yarn for that. Okay, that takes the yarn out of that project. I don't have to worry about how much that costs. Anything else I need? Yeah, I do need lining. I'm out of t-shirts. I do need some kind of lining. Write that down. Write down what you assume it's going to cost you. And of course, a lot of this information is available on the internet. If you go to local, let's say you're going to a local thrift store to get a t-shirt, you know, if you've done it before, you know, t-shirts are probably like $2 or whatever. Just write all that into the appropriate places and then tally it all up at the end. And that will give you an idea of how much that project should cost you in order to complete. If it falls inside your budget, go for it. If you don't use your entire monthly budget, then bring it forward so that you have more money to play with the next month. And if it's a little over your budget, then refer back to your Money Smart checklist and see if there's anywhere in there that you can make a couple bucks or reuse something or reevaluate the project. Are there any other projects on your list that you'd like to make? Are there any other gifts that you need to do? Is there anything else you can do that falls within your budget or that you can make right now based on all these other little things? And that is how you don't overspend. You can find the money to do the things you actually like, and you can get creative in the meantime. I think having a budget is super important. It helps you feel like you're more in control of your own life. Because I think when I worked at the bank, one of the things I found the most is that money is an extreme source of emotional turmoil for a lot of people. They don't necessarily know what's coming in. They don't know where it's going. They don't know how to save. They don't know, like, you know, how to make a budget or keep a budget. So even if you just start by creating something as small as a little craft budget, it will help give you an idea of where you're at. It'll help remind you of like the money that's going out. Maybe, and this is something I used to talk about all the time, maybe there's something when you're tallying up all your bills and you're going through where you spend your money, maybe there's something in a month that you don't need to spend money on anymore. Maybe you buy a coffee every single time you drive to work and work has a coffee maker or you have a coffee maker. This was my favorite thing to say was like, maybe just don't buy one every day. You know, I'm not saying don't like cut out the treats, but when you tally up at the end of a week, how much little things like I have a couple girlfriends who love to go shopping at lunch on their lunch hours, at least when we could still do that. And they would, a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, go to the dollar store, you know, $5 here, $10 there. It tallies by the end of the month. By the end of the week, sometimes it's a couple $100. And by the end of the month, you know, multiply a week times 4, a couple $100 a week by 4, that's $800 a month in just a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. It does tally. So it helps to go through and see where you're spending money, because sometimes there's just one little tiny thing you can cut out. If you think, you know what, I'm going to make my coffee in the morning for just a week. Well, if you're not buying a coffee, let's say a coffee costs you $2.50, then 5 coffees at $2.50 is like $10 by the end of the week. You've just saved $10 and there's the money you need to buy that yarn. Mm-hmm. It is so easy to find
instead of using your credit card.
Instead of using your credit card.
That's what you don't want to do.
You don't want to put it on the credit card. Does that pile up fast? So having said all that, we hope this will be helpful. You can use it, and you know what? You can use it for a lot of things. Again, we've got on our website, we also, in addition to this, we've got a free printout, which is a WIP organizer, so a work in progress organizer, and a gift creation planner. So if you make gifts for people, all 3 of these can be used in harmony. So if you're planning gifts and you know you've got who you want to make something for and what it is you want to make, keep your budget handy so that you know how much money you're going to need, how many months you might need time-wise, savings-wise, in order to kind of complete all the things you want. You can use all of these things in harmony. And if you're using a work in progress organizer, you'll know by looking at your organizer what works in progress you can either finish, maybe you don't want anymore, you can pull it out, take it apart, use that sort of yarn and those supplies for something else. So yeah, use all 3 in harmony. I keep all 3 in my agenda so that when I open it up and I'm looking at what I need to do in the day, all of that is handy for me. You can also just print this off and sort of, if you've got like a bulletin board, or if you have like one of those page protectors on your desk, you can kind of slip it under there, stick it in maybe your locker, wherever you feel you need something right in your face. So I'm going to keep mine in my agenda. Yes.
Yeah. So there's lots of free journal pages on our tools.
We've got the 3 at least, plus we've got lots of handy tools there in general.
There's quite a few. And also everything that you can download off our website, like the JaydaInStitches.com, that's all free.
Yep.
So,
Please
grab
make use
the
of
patterns,
Yeah.
grab the tools.
We've got over 50 free patterns there.
And you can add those to your project journals.
Yes. So please make use of those tools. They're really handy and helpful, and they can be fun too. And nobody should be feeling anxiety about their income and their outgoing monies. It's sometimes all you have to do is just write it all down and figure out where you can cut a little something out and make
you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at how much that will cut your anxiety. Just by keeping, even if you're ballparking it. You don't even have to be to the penny.
Yeah.
Even if you're ballparking it, it'll help, ease your anxiety when it comes to.
And once again, when you're writing things down and you can see it all in black and white and you can check things off, you feel so in control. It's just the best feeling. I used to help people all the time when I worked at the bank do that, and they would turn themselves around and all of a sudden they were saving money like they never knew they could do it before. And it made me feel good every single time. But having a budget can be very useful and a lot of fun. And some of these save money things can be really fun on their own. So that's why we included it in there. Yes. And we highly recommend that you always sort of check that list off before you dive into spending money on. And I mean, I'm not saying don't spend money. I'm not saying don't go to the fabric store or the yarn store, or don't not spend the money, especially if that's something that makes you like you've been saving up for it and you can't wait for that yarn. But if you do feel that you're on a bit of a shoestring budget, especially right now, this is another reason we're talking about this. This has been such a nutty year, and now we're, still in this crazy mess. And a lot of people are nervous about money, or maybe they've lost a job, or maybe their income's been kind of split, or whatever might be happening to you. This will just help you feel a little more in control. And it doesn't stop you from doing all the hobbies that you really enjoy, because maybe there's something in that Money Smart checklist that you never thought of that will kind of open a door to another part of the crochet hobby that you can sort of get into, like thrifting for supplies. Oh my gosh, that is so fun. It's such a cheap way to have some fun. Anyway, any questions on our monthly craft budget planner? I've yak. Please let us know in the comments section.
We'll see if anyone has any questions about the planner,
or in the chat
the budget, the sheet. If you have it in front of you and if you got it, downloaded it and printed it out, let us know. What you think. Maybe someone will have some great ideas on what to add to the Money Smart checklist side.
I do. I love
Anne says, thank you for creating the sheet.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for downloading it. We hope
Thank you all for hanging out with us.
Helps. We hope it helps everyone balance
we want everybody to feel like
balance your finances a little bit.
Yeah, we want everyone to sort of feel like they can organize themselves, feel like they can keep track of things, and feel a little more like I keep saying feel like they're in control. I as somebody who suffers from anxiety, I have found that the more I feel in control of the things that I have control over, the less anxiety I have. So and honestly, this is fun. I know that's the nerd in me talking, but creating a budget and sort of knowing where everything goes in a month is like, it's just.
Cheryl says, my husband is going to love you for this. LOL. We had a few good little ideas.
Great.
This is from Autumn Keys, Autumn's Skies.
I'm going to write them down.
The QV app has been helping me earn, Q like the letter, and then V, and then VE. Helping me earn money towards my unicorn fund so I can fund small projects.
Oh, unicorn fund?
Yeah, I'm not aware of what that is, but if you guys know, check it out.
And Neighbor or Nextdoor was one?
Yep, Nextdoor was an app. Let's see here. Deborah says, when I was working, I brought my lunch from home and used the savings for shopping.
Yes.
You'd be amazed.
That's a big one.
How much you can save on lunch when you bring it from home.
Yeah, I don't know,
lunch and coffee.
Lunch and coffee.
Because day to day, going to work, it adds up.
Yeah, I think to be perfectly, let's look at it from the Canadian perspective here. I think if you get a large Tim Hortons. I'm seeing.
Wait while I do the whole
moths flying thing out of a wallet. If you get a large Tim Hortons coffee, I think it runs you around $3 with you when you include tax and everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't literally gone to Tim's in so long. I don't know how much that really is, but let's say it's $3. nice round number. Let's say you buy lunch. Lunch is at least $10 to $12, even if you get something cheap.
Yeah, easy.
10 to $12.
10 minimum after tax.
So let's say 12 plus a coffee is $3. That's $15 a day.
I'm busting out the calculator.
$15 a day.
Okay, so $15 a day. This is just one lunch and one coffee.
This is $65 a week.
So 15 times how many work days? 20?
5 you want to do a month? Okay, say 20 in a month.
So 20.
Roughly. How much did you
$300.
$300 coffee, and so if you buy coffee
one
and
coffee
lunch,
and one cheap lunch,
just 5 times a
that's
week.
$300 at the end of the month. You can buy a lot of yarn with $300.
See?
Okay, so Sakura says Nextdoor app.
Nextdoor app.
And Nextdoor app is like Facebook neighborhoods.
Okay.
So those are two different versions there.
And now these are sort of places where you can kind of swap stuff or
I think
do odd jobs for each other.
Yeah, I guess it's like a bulletin board for localized.
Cool, I like that.
That's how I see that. Robin's Hooked says, you guys brighten my day, and I always look forward to these live streams. Thank you so much for taking the time. It is very much appreciated.
Well, we're very happy to have you with us. What else are you going to do on a snowy Tuesday when you're locked down, right? Let's talk about budgets. Yay, that's exciting.
Katie has found another video related to this topic. It's called Shopping Your Stash.
Yes.
Day 3, 24 days to a crafty Christmas.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's that entire thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you,
yes,
Katie.
Shopping Your Stash.
That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Crochet with Vima. How to manage online shopping for yarn. Which is more expensive than going to the store? So I guess it can be more expensive.
It
Maybe
depends.
It depends on where it's coming from because of shipping.
Yeah, if you have to pay for shipping, tariffs, pickup, all that other stuff, then it can be quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you live somewhere where, like, if you can order online from someone that is close, and so shipping isn't very expensive, or like, let's say you're buying yarn off of Amazon and the yarn itself is a good price and you have an Amazon account already, then you're not paying any shipping, then that could be a really good deal. Going to pick it up in store could be comparable. The store could have better sales. You can pick it up and feel it in store.
I mean, we've mixed it up, and I've literally, I've seen better deals on Amazon, and then a month later we go to Michael's and we see a better deal there, depending on the type of yarn. So it really is just hit and miss. You got to just kind of stay on it.
That's part of the fun of the hobby, in my opinion, is doing the research. So I'm going to get online and I'm going to go to my favorite websites and I'm going to see who's having a sale, and if they're having a sale in store, or if there's a coupon I can use, or any of that stuff.
Anna Victoria says, I feel like we have 1,000 work days a month. So we should multiply 15 times 1,000.
I feel like that. That'd be $15,000. Can you
You
imagine?
saved $15,000 this month. You can buy all the yarn in the world.
Wow. It's true. It feels like, you know what? And it's not, and the reason that we start doing things like buying a coffee on the way to work, or buying lunch when we're out or something, the reason we do that is because it makes us feel good. It's one less thing we have to think about. Can I just suggest, if you do want to start bringing your lunch to work, make it the night before, put it in the fridge so you don't have to think in the morning.
Because then you'll quit.
Because
you'll go, I'm just running out the door.
If you're like me, so I'm not a morning person at all, and it's compounded by the fact that I have rheumatoid arthritis, which makes everything slower and more awkward in the morning. So I always lay out my outfit the night before, so I don't have to think about it in the morning. I always make my lunch, sometimes even my breakfast, and I bring both of them with me so that I have breakfast in the morning and I also have lunch. I make them the night before, put them in the fridge, so all I have to do is shove them in my bag in the morning. I do as much prep the night before so that I really just have to kind of roll out of bed, wash, and dress and go.
From Crafty Chats, maybe you guys could do a live on patterns online.
Yes.
Well, we could do that easily right now. I mean, first of all, we have an entire page that has over 50 of them. And there's got to be a billion free patterns on the internet.
Yes.
There's probably in the billions.
I think probably. Now, that's not saying they're all great.
Yeah,
or that they're all
checked. They're not all great. They're not all properly written.
I will suggest this. Back in the old days, and I mean like the early days of the internet when people were actually doing stuff, I'm not even sure if this is still
back when we were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
But back when I was in my very early 20s, there was a website called Stargazer or Martha C. Stargazer. I'm not even sure if it's there. And all she did was cruise around the internet, finding crochet patterns and then providing a link to them. I'm not even sure if her website is still there. But the reason I bring her up is because not only did I find some cool stuff that also might not even still be on the internet because things come and things go, but she introduced me to something called the Wayback Machine. And the Wayback Machine, there's a few of them on the internet, but the Wayback Machine basically backs up websites.
Mm-hmm.
And on the
there's
Wayback
a lot of
Machine,
websites that do that. Yeah.
Somebody at some point in the mid 90s had gone to all the trouble of uploading crochet patterns from a 1960s set of magazines that were all like groovy crochet. So back in the 60s and 70s when crochet was just like exploding to the folk art scene, and people were instead of using it to make like doilies and stuff, they were starting to make like crazy sweaters and all that stuff. I found that there were links to the Wayback Machine that was we're keeping all of this groovy crochet stuff. So it will take some digging, mm-hmm. But there are things like that on the internet. And I recommend before you download or even print off these things, always kind of read them first. If they make sense to you, if they're not littered with ads, if they're not,
be careful when you're like floating around the internet.
Yeah,
though.
because
like, don't just go clicking on links all over.
Make sure the link has like a little green check mark on it, or is a certified link, or mm-hmm. is maybe if you go to the website, there's like a little lock at the top. So in your search bar next to the website address, there'll be like a little lock.
It'll say secure.
It'll say secured.
Or not secure.
Or not secured. Yeah, you want to be careful when you're cruising around the internet.
I would recommend if you're not like super computer savvy, I would recommend going to like the companies that actually sell the yarn.
Yes.
So if you go to
a lot of them have
like Lion Brand sponsors our show, and
their website is fine.
Their website is fantastic,
actually,
and their yarn is excellent mm-hmm. too. But they have probably thousands of free patterns on there.
They have free patterns.
Anyone that sells yarn,
Inspirations, Burnett, they have free patterns.
Yeah, and then like I think Mary Maxim, you can go to them.
They have some free patterns.
And then you're a little more secure.
These are safer.
You're
places.
A little more secure with the links.
I think Lion Brand has over 1,000 free patterns.
Oh yeah,
like it's just nuts.
And then
be there
to when you go to the stores, they've always got free patterns right there.
Yeah, sometimes when you go into the yarn section,
you can peel off the little tabs.
Yeah, they've got little. Now you're not necessarily going to want to make everything, so this is where you want to be a little more choosy and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot out there, and if you're new to reading patterns, it's fun to get the free ones and sort of work your way through it. That's why
I highly recommend you start with our free patterns.
A lot of those are really
because we have a lot of videos to go with them.
Yeah, and that's the whole
idea. If
you're
a beginner, it really helps you.
Yeah, you can print off the pattern because our website is safe. Yeah. And you can like follow along with the tutorial we created so you can get an idea of how to read a pattern.
ARH says, I understand your pain of arthritis. I'm only 40.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, some people
bummer.
I mean, we've heard of people that get it when they're children.
Yes.
So it's a real like you just don't know.
Yes.
I know it's kind of you kind of think of older people, but nope, it kind of hits everybody.
Mine started popping up in my 20s.
Yeah, so started to notice little bits.
Yeah, but oh boy, sometimes it can take.
And then sometimes it kicks in all at once.
Yes, yeah.
We're gonna fly off topic here.
Okay.
Big thank you to Shelly. Ding 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 ding. For the super chat. Shelly says, the anxiety issue is probably why I connect with you.
Aww.
I've had anxiety all my life. Although I don't see it in you, what's your secret?
Control, baby.
Performance. We do breathing exercises and physical exercises before we get on camera.
I think it's there's
jumping jacks.
There's a few very simple things that like, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a whole thing in itself.
We should make a whole video about that.
But the quick ones, exercise and lots of water. I know that sounds annoying. Nobody wants to get up and exercise for an hour, but that really helps because it burns off excess energy. And it makes you feel like you're in control.
A gentle walk.
Creating budgets, making organizers, keeping an agenda, writing down lists and checking things off. Organization, it makes you feel like you're in control. It lessens your anxiety.
Yeah.
Eat a nice big breakfast in the morning. When you have a full tummy, you're less likely to be upset because a lot of anxiety comes from having an empty stomach, and it's an ancient back brain thing. But the brain's like, oh my gosh, we haven't eaten. You know what? You better get out there. What if the bears are eating all the berries?
Yep.
No. It's okay. Just
have a full belly as much as
belly.
possible, and try and eat good food.
Yeah,
like don't fill up with the tasty snacky
I know
stuff.
that's fun.
The stuff that we love.
That actually ends up making you feel.
Don't
worse.
fill your belly with chips and chocolate.
Fruits, vegetables, the stuff your grandmother would tell you to do.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but try to reduce your caffeine intake.
Yes.
It pains me to say this. I try coffee to have and tea. Try and either if you can cut it out, good for you, but cut it back.
Yeah.
And that'll help like immensely.
That is those things that cuts it like in half for me. That's a big part of it, and I have to say like not watching too much stuff that's upsetting. So if you find that you kind of get upset or frustrated or upset when you watch a particular thing, maybe it's a TV show or the news or somebody, anything that kind of like brings a little extra tension into you, just stop watching it. Don't bother. If it's like something in your feed or anything on your phone, just turn it off, because that is an
avoid the mainstream news media.
Just anything that upsets you.
Avoid mainstream news. If it's
they do try to make it very
mainstream
loud.
News, turn it off.
Yeah,
because they're all about
any news.
They're all about.
I feel like any news is
outrage.
I also feel like news in general is kind of negative on the whole.
Yeah,
because that's the stuff that people kind of will click on faster.
Yeah.
So avoid that.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but just like day on, day off.
Moderation.
Moderation, baby. Yeah. It helps. I mean, I know nothing is a full one-shot cure, but that all really helps me as somebody who's been dealing with it my whole life. So yeah.
I mean,
smile. Oh my gosh,
we're not professional doctors,
no,
but that's kind of what's helped us.
I know this. I talked about this once in a live stream eons ago, and I know it sounds corny, but it actually works. If you commute in the morning, you have a commute and you're driving your car, smile the entire time. I know you feel like you're crazy. You think, oh my gosh, are people going to be seeing me? They're going to think I'm nuts. Just pretend you're listening to music and it's making you smile. If you actually make a point of smiling, even just for like a minute straight, it will put you in a better mood. And I guarantee it. It's the weirdest thing, but am I happy because I'm smiling, or do I smile because I'm happy? It's the same thing. If you smile a whole lot, it's like it tricks your brain into being happy. Yeah. It works.
Florence says we need a good news channel. Yeah, I agree. There should be a channel that actually I think there was a couple of people that did that. I don't know if they're still going, where they tried to focus on good stories and happy things as opposed to constant negativity.
Well, I mean,
but that's a great idea, because there's so much good news.
There is so much,
but it gets ignored.
It does, because it's not as salacious. It's like, hey, this person adopted a puppy who's been at has been at the pound for 5 years, and he's finally going home, and he's so happy, and it's like, that's the kind of thing.
I know there's news all over the internet now, but if you watch like the mainstream, like the top news, it's how many ticker tapes they have on their screen.
Oh yeah.
There's so many ticker tapes you can barely see their face. And it's like, guys, dial it back a little bit. That also,
please. Those little things, stuff that's constantly moving, that can also make some people feel anxious.
Well, that's the idea.
You can't read
They're trying to make it look busy.
Yeah.
That's
unnecessary. There's enough going on in our lives. We don't need the extra
Turn
busyness.
it off. Somebody here, who was it? Crochet with Vima mentioned, I drink a lot of ginger tea and green tea. So that helps. Chamomile is a very good way to kind of just gently calm you down a little bit. Nice little chamomile
Plus it
tea.
Tastes delicious. Yes. Yes.
If anyone has any ideas, please share in the chat. We love it.
Anything that makes you feel good, because feeling good goes a long way to curbing anxiety. And all those negative vibes. We only want positive vibes, just positive. All right, I'm just going to quickly reiterate, and then I think we're going to close off.
I think
today's
so.
stream.
We've gone well over the hour.
Are we well over our lunch hour? Okay.
Yeah.
So one last time, please feel free to pop over to our website, JaydaInStitches.com. This is on the tools page. Just scroll to the bottom. You'll find our monthly craft budget planner. And there's a few other things there that all kind of work in harmony. These are great little planning sheets. You can keep them in your daily agenda, pin them to your bulletin board, wherever you want to kind of keep something in your face. Even put them on the fridge if that helps. And so please feel free to get that. It's totally free. We want everybody to sort of feel organized and have some fun things to like help plan their lives out with. Also, we've got the free patterns Mr. InStitches mentioned on the pattern workshop page, also on our website. There's like over 50 of them. Please feel free to download and print off as many as you want. The links are fine. They're all from us directly, so you don't have to worry about them. And I think that's it. We will see you Friday for a new video, obviously. It's definitely a video, but what will it be? I don't know.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. It's a surprise. But yes, Friday. We will see you Friday. So everybody, take care, stay safe, stay crafty, put a smile on. I know sometimes, even if you're just in the shower, if you're like afraid someone's going to see you smiling for no reason, just smile in the shower. Because I don't know, that just like, look at me. I'm always in a better mood after I've been sitting here goofing around and smiling. So
that's because we're talking crochet and budgeting. You get all excited.
I do, organizing, stuff like that. And don't forget on your little budget planner to refer to your money smart checklist, because there's not only some really great sort of money savvy ideas on there, especially if you want to like look for, you know, craft supplies in different places, but some of these are just generally a lot of fun, especially things like swapping stuff with your friends or going thrifting, reduce, reuse, recycling around the house, you know, stuff that you might be able to repurpose, taking apart old whips. This is all good stuff, and it's all a great way to help kind of like your bottom line, because, you know, we're all looking for ways to save money. Saving money is good. And then you'll have more money to spend on the things you really want, like that really nice ball of yarn or that really pretty pattern book and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much for being members, for being subscribers, for all of it. We really appreciate all of the support and the help, and it just having you there to talk to. It's really, really nice.
And I would love it if everyone that downloads our monthly craft budget thing and uses it leaves us a comment underneath this video.
Yes, please.
Throughout the day or throughout the week, because I'd love to know your feedback.
Yes,
what do you think? Does it help you? Do you feel like it needs like a different category?
What else?
I'm curious of how everyone feels about it and how it relates to their life and their budget. So. That's just for my own interest.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. So leave a comment under the video after we leave the live.
Yeah.
And really respond to all that.
And we will see you guys Friday.
We'll see you Friday.
Take care. Stay safe. If you're in and it's snowing, don't go driving. Just stay home. Don't bother. Maybe get out there and make a snowman.
Yeah.
Or
go tobogganing.
Snow cat. Snow dog, snow sculpture,
snow something,
snow something,
angel.
A snow something. That's cute.
I remember making snow angels when I was little.
I like building snow forts. Oh, those are the best.
Oh, when you're little and you make a snow fort,
yes,
and then you're in there with your like super puffy
like your
snowsuit,
giant snowsuit,
and like it gets
quiet.
It gets really quiet in there, and it's such a nice feeling.
Yes, I like it.
I miss that.
I miss that too.
That's it. We're making snow forts today.
That's what we're doing this afternoon. Oh my gosh.
All right. Ending the stream.
All right.
We'll see you Friday.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.
Take
Bye.
care.